And I have started the recording. All right. So, a little review for those who missed last week. Last week began with the consequences from everybody eating the mushrooms, which is that you had trippy dreams that night. So any characters that have not already unlocked their third lineage trait may do so at the cost of zeroing their composure for that day. And then, of course, another night has happened, and you've all gotten rest. So 2 attacks removed from that night of rest, in which you were not high. And then I think somebody, a player, should probably explain what happened the previous day. Shall I dangle a character point as a reward?
Oh, I'll take it then. So essentially, we wake up and like Miss Babel was missing, right? And there's a oh my god, I'm totally blank on her friend's name right now.
Coddle is the tailor.
Coddle. Yeah, and so Coddle and a few of the kids basically set out to find her. We found out that and this is the really minor stuff, but it's interesting that Coddle and Miss Babel had a tryst of sorts that involved massive air quotes throwing their shoes into the water on the rock that we jumped off of in the session prior. But that Miss Babel had gone a different way back than Coddle. And as we went through the farm, we found out that Miss Babel had probably been kidnapped by the wolf druids. And we end up right to the herbalist who had massive oh shit moment. Gets to the sheriff and not enough time to go through the send the kids back. So we all go to the woods to track down Miss Babel, where we find her bound to a tree, essentially, with the wolf druids. And then she does this whole I was in control all along, although Elros, I believe it was, did have to sort of release her from the tree, but she sort of ended up molding into the tree. She summoned her glasses and her staff to her, essentially, and projected her voice into are any of the kids hurt? And we weren't, but it sort of she ends up coming down and quote unquote forgives the wolf druids. We find out that Troll Friend is actually a tree spirit as well. And yeah, Miss Babel, after this exemplary show of power, refused to tell us what her powers are. Just that there are people who want to hurt us, and that she's not going to allow it. And also, all the children got told off for putting mushrooms in the soup, which zeroed your athlete's composure again.
Cool.
Anyway, long story short, Miss Babel is really powerful.
During the course of it, they also got to play with her staff and her glasses.
Very
This is for useful. The staff we mostly carried the staff. The glasses could make darkness go away, essentially.
Yeah. Also, she summoned them back by getting some trees to grab them for her.
Whoa, that's tight.
Alrighty. And so we are now waking up the next morning after a actual good night's sleep with a proper meal. So yeah, that's the 2 tasks I mentioned before we did the replay. And so now we just need to know what did your characters do the previous day. Jackie, we'll go ahead and start with Bax.
Let's see. They're probably just doing chores, right? I'm assuming all my other characters are doing chores that didn't get to play.
Unless they needed to recover tax. That's probably, yeah. Did Bax have a dream that awoke some secret knowledge or hidden skill or hidden talent?
I have to decide if she had any of the soup, mushroom soup, basically.
Yeah. If you decide she had the mushroom soup, then her composure got taxed completely out that night from trippy dreams. But she has learned what her third lineage is.
I think I'm gonna have Bax do some character stuff to get that lineage unlocked.
Okay.
But Leica will have the.
Cool. And then who did Bax do chores with?
The tavern.
Excellent. And because 2 days ago Bax was with Coddle having a costume, Bax now has a quality 4 costume of the hero that Bax prefers to play as. Same with Leica. And all the same questions for Leica.
Leica will. I'd have to pick another lineage for this character. Now that they've had the suit, right?
Yeah.
Do I have to pick a specific one, like an elf one or a half elf one, or just
Nope.
any of the general?
No restrictions. If you are a half elf, then the elf blood ones are available, but the elf child ones are not. But the regular ones are always available.
Let me see. Do I have to do all that now, basically? Get it out of the way.
You don't have to, but it was. This is a good time to do it to get it out of the way, especially if Leica's about to go on an adventure.
Right.
It's not mandatory though.
And half elves can't have the tangle, can they?
They can.
They can.
While you're thinking about that, let's move on to Kristen. We already know that Francis got a start on necromantic ability. So the more basic question is, what did Francis do? Was Francis doing chores?
Yeah, I guess let's say Francis was doing chores. I don't think that he had a lot of stuff he needed to recover, like tax-wise.
Excellent. And whom was Francis doing chores with?
I'll go with the herbalist.
All right. Francis had a lot of experience points. Is Francis going to be learning anything from the herbalist?
Probably, but I need to take a moment to figure out what.
Okay. Checking back in with Jackie, have you made a decision?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the tangle.
Okay. And then was Leica doing chores, or was Leica playing to rest up from the nightmares? If you choose play, you get to recover an extra 2 tax.
I'll fully recover them.
Okay. And then we know Trompy learned lessons of the small. Was Trompy doing chores?
Yes.
And for whom?
The herbalists again. And this time, I'm finally going to be able to spend some experience points.
Indeed.
Can you give me a quick rundown again of what the herbalist teaches besides, like, I'm assuming medicine?
Yes. The herbalist teaches exploration and investigation, as she has traveled forests to gain the herbs, medicine to make use of them, scholarship to read up on books about herbalism, survival, again, wandering the wilderness, and taming, as the herbalist has a great deal of interaction with the wildlife around the forest.
Okay,
Additionally, the herbalist can teach the following talents: Dr. Doolittle, first aid, good eating on one of those, herbal remedy, Hippocratic oath, polyglot, salvage, and tracking.
I think I will put a couple points in a few of these skills here.
Cool.
Oh, I also left out the most important part of our recap, which is that Whompi dumped a boot full of water on Trompy's head.
And I'm assuming Chompy earned 2 more pocket money.
One more pocket money from the herbalist. Yeah. As Trompy was
Gotcha.
doing mischief for the other day.
Gotcha.
But Banks would have also earned 1 pocket money, and Leica would not have. Similarly, Francis also earned pocket money from the herbalist, in addition to whatever the herbalist taught Francis. Do you know what Francis has learned?
How much does a talent cost?
9.
All right then.
Talents
Francis-
also have prerequisites, so if there's a particular talent you want, it might be a good idea to work on the prerequisites.
Would the talents that the people, the residents, and services give also have prerequisites?
Yes. Which is the talent you're looking for?
I wasn't looking for anyone in particular, but I was just trying to figure out how to spend my points.
Each of the residents is designed so that they teach the skills that are the prerequisites to the talents they teach. So if you see a talent on the person that you want, then that's also the person you'll want to train with in terms of skills. But to know which specific skill, yeah, just let me know which talent, I'll tell you. I've got the wiki open right now.
Cool. I have the wiki open as well. I think what I'm going to do is probably some blend of investigation and medicine.
Okay. Medicine's a good one to know if you're heading down the necromancy line there.
Yeah, I was considering taming. I don't know if like that might help with that as well.
Not so much. Taming is more about like wild animals. It's not about controlling undead. But it depends on how you want to develop a character. There's no reason that Trumpy doesn't need to have taming. I'm sorry, Francis. Francis can learn taming. That's absolutely a valid thing.
Could you tame undead animals?
No. That's not how undead works. But yeah, if you want me to go through the list again, like Dr. Doolittle is all about working with animals. First aid, all about healing people. Good eating on one of those, that's a solid survival skill. You can make a functional meal out of stuff other people might not realize is edible. Herbal remedy, more healing stuff. Hippocratic oath, more healing stuff. Polyglot, a solid scholarship one. That's knowing multiple languages. That's really good. Salvage. That's... I actually forgotten what salvage does exactly. Oh, you can use exploration to acquire natural items. Actually, it's not even acquire. You can use exploration to explain how you've had the item in your inventory all along. It's one of those. One of those retroactive skills. And then, let's see. Taming is the last one on the list, which is definitely an animal interaction one. She's got a nice, I'm sorry, not taming, tracking. Yeah, there we go. So you got a nice mix of the investigation, scholarship, herbalist, and wilderness stuff going on. All right, while you're thinking of that, and we're also going to need to go through Henry and Zara as well. But let's take a look at the options for everybody else for today. So today is going to be the trial. You do not necessarily have to go to that. In fact, Miss Mabel would prefer it if you don't, but she knows that some of you were specifically invited by the sheriff. So if you want to go, there's a couple options. A group of you can go to the trial as an adventure, or a group can go do one of the other adventures, and anyone who does their chores with the sheriff today will be observing the trial, but they'll be doing so quietly without causing trouble.
So you're saying when we have to cause trouble, we need to do this as an adventure.
If you want to cause trouble at the trial, then yes, an adventure would be how you would do that. Otherwise, the available adventures are fixing the broken salt maker, looking for pirate treasure, socializing with the other kids, helping Mangra learn how to sing, investigating the glowing moss, and investigating Miss Mabel's history and powers.
I feel like we should investigate the glowing boss. That's my preference.
Yeah.
None of my
But-
characters give a shit about the trial.
Yeah. Another thing is that it only happens this time, and then we don't get to see the trial.
As I said, none of my characters give a shit about the trial.
My current idea for taking a character out is probably going to be Elros, and he definitely wants to go to see a trial.
Yeah, Reggie will definitely be at the trial.
I mean, pirate treasure sounds pretty cool.
Troy, did one of your characters want to weigh in?
I think I got lost somewhere on what the actual trial is. There's a lot going on at the moment.
It was the guy hanging up in the cell or whatever, the one that was talking about shadows and stuff and being dragged into the ground.
Oh, it's the trial for that guy.
Yep, a judge has finally arrived from Celebre to oversee a fair trial for him.
That's right. I forgot that was discussed before that they were on their way.
And I just noticed that you were not here last week either, which means you have 3 characters to go through as well. I'm just going to speed run through it. Were any of the 3 characters awakened to their lineages from having the mushroom trip?
Yeah, let's just go with they all did it. And then most likely had to recover.
Yeah, so all of them would have taxed their composure to 0, completely taxed it. But then the following day, they would get a proper night's rest for 2 tax removed. If you wanted to also have them play instead of do chores, they can get a second pair of tax removed. Or they can do chores. I know Mina's got some experience points. Presumably, Chrysalisar has some experience points too.
He does. I think everybody. Potentially saving for talents at this point.
Okay.
But I can say that they're all resting just to make it easy. So when we rest, we can move the composure to stamina, right? But then I want to get the stamina cleared.
Yes. All of them get to do that because they're sleeping. They've gotten a good night's sleep after the following day after the mushroom incident. But yeah, the play would help you clear more of that out.
Yeah, so I'll just play with all them to get the extra 2.
Okay, and then yeah, all of them get another lineage. So that should be 3 lineages now for those characters.
Got it. Yeah, I have 1 done. I'm working on the other 2 now. I'm trying to think.
Cool. Back to Kristen. Do we know what Henry and Zara did?
They definitely tripped on mushrooms.
Excellent.
I'll have to think a bit on what lineage they'll pick up as a result of that. So yeah, I'm gonna think about Zara first because I'm thinking of taking Zara out today. on adventure.
Okay. What did Zara and Henry do the previous day?
So I guess since they tripped on mushrooms, they would have had taxes to recover. So would that be like the orphanage? I can't remember.
That would be playing, or if they were physically injured, resting. But this was more psychological, so play would be the correct way to recover those tax.
Excellent. They played then.
Okay.
How much tax does that recover?
Play recovers 2 in addition to the 2 that you get for sleeping the night. Remember that nothing was recovered the night you had the mushrooms, but then the following night there was a recovery. So total after the mushroom incident would be 4.
And how much tax did the mushrooms incur?
Whatever your total composure was. The mushrooms taxed your composure to 0 from whatever it was at.
Also, a random question: what the heck is priority speaker? Because I noticed that Kite has it.
Priority speaker?
Yeah, if you look at the session, there's like a little white dot beside Kite's name.
I don't see this.
I don't see this either.
I see it. It's really strange.
It happens if you set your push to talk to priority speaker instead of regular speaker. Doesn't really matter.
Do we have a consensus on what the adventure for today will be?
I don't. I'm not sure if we can split up, but Zara would be interested in the pirate adventure.
What's good for a plot shit, huh? What's good for plot shit?
Of my characters, either Spooky Moss or Pirate Treasure. Both of those are interesting. That specifically would also be interesting figuring out what Miss Mabel is. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, finding out what the guy's being charged for might find out exactly what happened that night.
Reggie and Mari are going to go to the trial. Mari because she's interested in trials, and Reggie because he's interested in criminals. Shari is just kind of telling stories, and if there's pirate treasure involved, she'll definitely be involved.
Well, can't we only have one of our characters choose one of the adventures?
Well, one of your characters will go on the adventure, but if the adventure is not to cause trouble at the trial, you can still send characters to go do chores for the sheriff, and that will effectively put them at the trial. Because that's the sheriff's only concern today, is security for the trial.
Yeah. I guess I'll vote Pirate Treasure as well.
Did I hear 3 people asking for pirate treasure, I think?
I think so.
Does anyone object to pirate treasure? It sounds like the children then are doing pirate treasure. So yeah, everybody select who is going to do pirate treasure. Ed, you said it was Shari?
Yep.
Backs.
Torque between I really want to put points in Araxi, but also I really want to take Araxi out on this.
Tice, you have all of your characters listed as doing chores today.
Yeah, I had El Ross going to do mischief, but then it was I wanted him to be at the place. I'll have Glup come.
Vivian, did you say you want Araxi to come?
I have not made my mind up yet.
Okay, no problem.
While people are thinking, I'm trying to remember how, like, for the characters that got a superpower, are we choosing like any lineage for that?
No, there is a specific lineage called Prodigy.
Oh, that's the only lineage to choose.
Now, Prodigy has many flavors, so if we look at it in the wiki here, it's, where is it? General lineage. Here we go, general lineage, Prodigy. By chance encounter, natural talent, or sheer luck, you become aware of your supernatural potential and have had some success at manifesting it. You may take one catalyst and work it into your backstory. And if you click on catalysts, you'll see there's a bunch of them. I think for Francis, you chose Francis to have had a near-death experience, and in that process having glimpsed the other side, by which we mean the connection to ancestral memories, has gotten an interest in supernatural connections. So this has awakened the death catalyst in Francis, which we can use to progress Francis down a magic user sort of path. Francis will need, of course, to talk to some NPCs and undergo some additional training before he'll start slinging spells and summoning skeletons or what have you. But yeah, that's how it starts. Typically, when we played, and this is one of the things I really like about what we're doing, is typically when we play characters that are already experts. And so we kind of skip this part, or gloss over this part of character development. But I like this, that we're getting to walk the children through those first steps of, this is how you found out that you had magical ability, and this is how you had to go about developing those skills to actually be able to make use of them.
So when I click through catalysts, it mentions catalysts and potentials, and I'm wondering is there a set list, or can I just make up something?
Both. There is both a list and you can make up stuff, because that's how Fluid works. But yeah, if you scroll down, so you've got like on the main wiki, you've got ancestries, lineages, skills and talents, items and equipment, properties, and then catalysts in that main drop-down kind of thing. And if you click on the catalyst's little drop-down arrow to open it up, you'll see there's some additional things underneath that for Chosen, Death, Discovery, Eldritch Encounter, Enlightenment, Eureka, Revelation, and Touched.
The catalyst just gives you a potential, though. It doesn't really matter what. The catalyst is mostly flavor. It doesn't do anything specific.
Yeah.
And then the potential, you name whatever you want to name it.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be magical. The potential could be swordsmanship or something. Like that's totally valid.
But we aren't choosing our potentials yet, right? We still have to dare it.
Not yet. Right now you're getting the catalyst, which is the beginning of your journey, and then when you get a teacher that can help you, you'll be able to put points into a potential and start leveling a potential. Potentials are, they're like a super stat. In that you can name what they are when you get it. You can have more than one, and they're they're like taking it to the next level. Instead of just using the basic aptitudes and skills, the potentials go to a whole other level of creative customization of the character.
Alright, I'm actually going to take Whompi out, I think. I think Whompi, her treasure, is going to go for it. By the card, I really need to put more points into Araxi's athletics. Or acrobatics.
So Henri's when Henri plays, he plays as the Moon King, and I was thinking of going with Eldritch Encounter, and maybe like while he was dreaming and having his like mushroom trip, he encountered the Moon King in his dream.
That is a valid thing. I will let you decide, but I do need to know. Did he imagine what he thinks the Moon King is like, based on like books and stuff, or did he, in dreaming, accidentally cross the threshold and actually encounter the real, actual Moon King? Both of these are possible. There's no limit here. You decide.
I think the more epic option definitely is that he accidentally crossed some sort of threshold and encountered the actual Moon King.
Okay. The Moon King is terrifying. The Moon King is an alien intelligence with pretty much no empathy, so it would have been a frightening experience. The Moon King does have access to a weird assortment of powers. So there's a lot of different ways that an interaction with the Moon King can go. The interaction can inspire one to pursue alienist activities, looking into the realms beyond reality where this alien creature came from. It can also inspire druidic traits, where you see that it is, while it is an alien invasion, it is an invasion of the moon, and the moon itself has powers. And so there are powers of belief that come from the moon that the sky druids are all into. It can also be so frightening that you go the other way and think about, like, how can I stop creatures like this? If you go with the moon's main sort of power sets involve around cycles and seasons, and I actually have Palladia's spell list saved somewhere I can dig up for you. If we're going that route. If we're going the like alienist route, alienists are about contacting eldritch creatures. It's very horror themed. I think you recall what happened to Chops when Chops got infected by the poisoned apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy shit that happens with direct contact with entities like that, far realm creatures.
So there's the moon path or the alienist path. Those are the only two options, right?
No, there's, you can interpret it however you want. But those are some common options that would result from this. One thing about this style of play is there's no real restrictions, so you don't have to follow an existing path, but these are some suggestions of things that make sense and go with the flow. What is it you envision for Andre?
So, the encounter was kind of scary. I'm looking at like also the Eldritch encounter description, and it mentions taking on a narratively appropriate trait like Eldritch scars, blessed, cursed. And I was thinking that maybe the twist, it could have like twisted him to like the dark side, kind of like such a terrifying experience that he, is kind of cursed and somewhat evil.
It's a common trope about the sort of alienists that in their pursuit of power they abandon morality because it's just getting in the way.
Yeah, I like that. I like that for Henri.
All right.
I do have a small question. Do they wake up with a slice of cake in their lap?
No.
Did someone like wake up with a slice of cake in their lap?
The Moon King delivers cakes to the heads of state of various countries as part of a trick that a halfling played on him. So this is some old lore, but when the traveler first chained himself to the moon, becoming the Moon King Inui, there was a halfling bard that got kind of dragged into it, and Inui was basically questioning the bard about politics, and was like, there are these nations here, they might try to go to war with me. Well, what should I, how should I destroy them, basically? And the halfling, in a desperate ploy, tricked Inui into believing that if he delivered them cakes, they would not go to war with him, because having received a nice present, that meant that they were all friends and would not do violence unto each other. And so instead of leveling what Inui viewed as the primary political powers on the planet, he delivered them cakes. This proceeded to start an entire industry of halfling cake production that is fueled and funded by mithril that Inui extracted and keeps stored on the moon. So the cake thing is generally a reference to the fact that Inui has no idea how human or general sentient life functions, and is just essentially following a sort of script that was given to him by a what he presumes is an expert in the field. That poor little halfling is the most stressed out individual on the planet as it continues to maintain various ruses to keep Inui from unleashing devastating, powerful attacks.
I knew he's weird, man.
He is. He's been bamboozled into being a good guy. Doesn't understand the concept, but yeah. And it works so well that a lot of the political entities that interact with Inui think of Inui as one of the good guys, which is a terrible misconception that could really bite them in the ass if things start to fall apart. what's going on right now politically with the war with Apthus is that the moon is being used as a sort of way station for politics, and a lot of politicians would like Anui to open up the transport system for troop transport, and Anui is refusing, and they're not sure why. They don't really understand the intricacies of like what's going on in his head. What's going on is that there's a halfling that knows that if things get too complicated, he won't be able to hold the whole thing together. And if Anui actually involves himself in conflict, it's not just conflict with the nations, it's conflict with gods and Magus and elementals, like the prime elementals of entropy and yeah, it gets messy. Anyway, moon politics are complicated. Point is, far realm critters are scary, and yeah. But there's also great power to be had there if you play your cards right.
Speaking of great things, how about that pirate treasure?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, is pirate treasure on the menu?
I think so.
So we've got going on this adventure. Shari, Bax, Glup, Kofrik, Whompi, and Kristen. Which of your characters will be going on this adventure?
Zara.
Zara, alright. Alright, before you guys set off on your adventure, let's just quickly figure out which characters are going elsewhere. I know, Ed, you said that both Mari and Reggie are going to go with the sheriff.
Yep.
Jackie, what are Leica and Trumpy up to today?
Leica will go talk to the carpenter again. Need to roll something for that.
We'll do the rolls at the end.
Trumpy is going to continue their studious undertakings with the herbalist. Bax is going pirate treasure hunting. That sounds like a heroic adventure.
Kristen, what is Francis doing?
Francis will proceed with more tourism with the herbalist.
And Andre?
We'll go with the carpenter.
Yeah, I think we're 8 successes away from being able to get toys.
Tice, Elros is going to the sheriff, and Kyleel's going to the inn. Is that right?
Yep.
Troy, Crystal Sar going to the sheriff, Mina going to the miller. All right. And Arax is going fishing. 100%. Understand that. And Nest is going to do chores at the inn. Okay. Cool. We have our team then. All right. Discuss amongst yourselves. What's your plan for finding pirate treasure?
What's our current intel on it?
Somebody heard a rumor at the inn once, about a week ago, that some travelers that were visiting believed there was pirate treasure in the town.
So I guess we got to go to the inn and find out more information.
Sounds like a great place to start for any adventure. To the inn!
Before we leave the orphanage, is there like a shovel around?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One that's preferably comically oversized for a halfling to carry.
I mean, that would be literally everything. It's
Whompi
comically-
grabs the biggest one that Whompi can carry.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, Miss Mabel does her best to do like minor farming. So she has shovels for digging up soil to try to plant things. It's not near the scale of the surrounding farms, but she does like to have fresh vegetables and herbs and things.
Wait a second. She likes to do minor farming. She doesn't have enough orphans here.
Small scale farming. But a comically oversized shovel for a halfling is easily acquired. It is unfortunately not of great quality, but it's probably good enough. It makes holes in the ground.
Well, Whompi is going to march off to the end triumphantly with the shovel. Point it like you would a rifle.
Traveling up the road, you pass by the forest to your left, the cows to your right, and you proceed up. Some of the children have gone ahead of you. Some will be coming behind as they're on their way to go do their chores. And much of the town is gathered over by the courthouse / jail. But Grammy is still serving food at her establishment. And by food, I mean cookies, because that's what she gives you guys every time you step in.
Zara runs up and grabs some cookies immediately.
Of course.
Whompi will go grab cookies and then hop in like one of the bar stools and just sit there. Eat the cookies, shovel laid up against the counter.
Right on. It's still a bit early in the day, so there's not a excuse me, not a huge crowd.
I'm gonna kind of go up to like different tables, even if there's people at them, and start like looking under the table, and muttering about like looking for some sort of pirate treasure map.
Okay. You get a few chuckles from various guests, and one bard tries to shoo you away because their instruments are in a case under the table.
Just if we can ask Grammy if since she sees everyone here, who was the person that said there was a pirate treasure here, and what information he had mentioned about.
Well, the person who had originally said it is long gone. They were a traveling merchant, and they're weeks, well, not weeks, they're a week roughly away of travel down the road.
But did they mention anything else besides just hearing about a pirate treasure here?
That's all that was overheard at the time.
Unrelated question. If Whompi asked Grammy for a coffee, would Grammy give it to Whompi?
That is an interesting question. You would have to be very convincing in asking Gravy for a coffee. Gravy gives out lots of things to children, but she generally gives out the sweet things. She'd be more likely to give you a hot chocolate than a coffee. Coffee would
Hot
have
chocolate's
caffeine
for
in it, which
children.
would make you go crazy.
Hot coffee's for children. Coffee is for, or hot coffee. Hot chocolate's for children. Coffee is for big kids, like Whompi. So,
Alright.
Whompi's going to put on their best innocent face and look at Grammy and go, Miss Grammy, Whompi would like a coffee today.
Make a performance plus empathy check.
Ooh, I've got dice for this.
Yeah. And while Whompi's doing this, I'm going to like climb on the walls and onto the roof. And I'm going to like go above sneak into the kitchen to go find the collection of coffees.
Two success.
Okay. You succeed in convincing Grammy to play along and bring you a coffee. Tice, you said you wanted to sneak into the kitchen?
Yeah, to get the coffees.
Alright, make a stealth plus agility check. You're pretty sure that everybody can see you acting like you're being stealthy, but no one actually stops you.
I am sneakiest as I like hide and slowly sneak into the kitchen.
So Grammy comes back with a pot of coffee and a pitcher of creamer and pours you a coffee, and then sets the creamer down and some sugar, and fully expecting that you're going to need a lot of it. The coffee is in fact only half full in the cup to give you space for the creamer and sugar.
Well, Whompi has no shame about this, and why is just going to proudly like sit there, like pouring the creamer, putting creamer to sugar in, and stirring it up like a big kid. And it's going to say, "So, Greg, we're going. It's time for pirate treasure today."
Well, aren't you a dear? I hope you find a good piece of treasure.
Yeah, we heard there was somebody who came through here who had said that there's some pirate treasure here.
She laughs. Oh, they all say that. Of course, no one's ever found it, but maybe you'll be the first.
Well, did they say where it was? Or where it was supposed to be? Because we gotta go find it.
Well, I'll let you know a little secret, but you didn't hear this from me. If they knew where it was, they would have gotten it already. You see?
So what we could do is we could take... And now Whompi's confused.
Where could we? Maybe we could look up the history of the town. Maybe there'd be something about if there was such an event that happened. Maybe a great hero or something came in here.
That is viable.
Do you know where do you know where we'd find? Would that be with the herbalist, or do you think that would be with back at the orphanage?
So the orphanage is going to have basically children's books of heroic histories from all over. The library that the herbalist keeps has lots of books. There won't be much in the way of town records there, but there might be some. Probably the most recent records would be kept by the courthouse, but those would be records of arrests, which might have some ne'er-do-wells and piracies, and certainly everyone there is distracted at the moment. We're going to give everybody else a little chance to do something here. Troy, did you want to do anything? Does Kofrik have any plans on how to proceed towards pirate treasure?
I've been trying to think of something. I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay. How about Shari?
Shari's kind of following along. She's very excited about pirate treasure. She's not entirely sure where to look. The only advice that she gives is that, you can't bury treasure on the beach because it'll wash away. So it should be in.
Right on.
She says, but they would park at the beach. Yeah, so when the ship comes in, they have to carry it. And if it's a lot of treasure, they don't want to carry it too far. But they have to carry it where they can bury it. So that's good hard earth. So we can start at the beach and then look around and see a good place to bury treasure. Maybe there's a treasure map. Treasure maps are how they figure out where the treasure is. But that might not be here anymore. You just keep speculating.
Whompi throws a napkin at.
Did Bax have an idea?
I feel like all of our leads are turning out dry.
Nautical humor.
Well, we have 3 leads right now. We have the courthouse, the herbalist area, and the orphanage.
Guess so.
So that's
Climb
just at
Records is
the
probably-
end.
No,
So
Climb Records is probably the best option then here.
So Nest is at the end working today. But I'd like them to come over and just say, you can also talk to Lorpin. He knows all the tales about the Sea of Pirates.
That's an amazing idea.
Did Zara have any ideas to contribute?
Zara is very interested in finding the treasure map. Even though there may not exist a treasure map, she's insistent that there could be one.
All right, so with all these ideas, it looks like the main ones that might lead you somewhere is checking courthouse records for incidences of thievery that might be piracy adjacent, or going to talk to Lorpin, who was literally a privateer, a form of pirate, for a significant period of his life.
Talking to people is probably not a good idea, because if the people knew where the treasure was, then the people would have gotten the treasure. That's what the lady said. So I agree. If I knew where the treasure was, I already have the treasure.
Shari makes some excellent points.
So where do you suppose we look then? Sleuthing through town records?
With the trial going on, there's no one there to stop you.
An opportune moment, indeed.
Had you done this on any other day, you'd have to make some stealth rolls and try and lure deputies away. But right now, they're 100% focused on the trial. And the deputy's record room is going to be unguarded. Possibly locked, but unguarded.
Excellent.
Sounds boring, Whompi says as Whompi goes to pick up another cookie at their shovel.
Shari unfortunately agrees. She just kind of pouts and says, I wish Mari was here. She likes this sort of thing.
It turns out Mari is helping the sheriff over at the courthouse.
His ears perk up because she thinks that records sound like a place where a map might be. She's probably wrong, but that's what she's interested in.
Well, I guess the kids would put it to a vote, maybe, as to who wants to go where. Probably not a great idea for you guys to split up, but yeah. If there's disagreement about where to go, then it should be settled.
Maybe we could split up and meet back at the end. Or the beach.
Do you guys want to split up or stay together as a group?
I think I think we should all just go to the place and find the information and then go to the beach.
It's very early in the day. There's lots of time.
It might be less conspicuous if we split up. But at the same time, we won't know where to look.
Yes, because if we find information that it's not on the beach, then we have to travel to the beach and collect you guys and then go to the actual place.
Where's Lorpin?
Lorpin is the first mate for Captain Lowendahl with the fishing family.
So, would he be out on a boat right now, or is he's located somewhere else?
He would be out on a boat fishing, and then they typically come back in around noon. Those that go fishing have to get up before the sun is even risen in order to get over there in time to go fishing. But by noon, they're back, and they're unloading fish.
And it's currently morning right now. Before
It is. Noon is quite some time off. Got a few hours before you'll be hitting noon.
In that case, maybe let's hit up the records, see what we find. If we don't find anything, maybe Lorpin will be back by then, and then we go talk to him.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems like a consensus is being reached.
Zara starts marching towards wherever these records are.
Axe is in tow.
Whompi's with you, but dragging their shovel begrudgingly.
Come on, guys. And she grabs 12 cookies. I got some snacks for the road.
So the library is pretty close to just being across the street. The herbalist is what's directly across the street, but then further down that road, and by further down I mean a few feet down the road from the herbalist, is the library. The library is physically connected to the herbalist's house. They share a wall, and there is even a door, so that the herbalist does not actually have to leave her house to go to the library. From the road where you get access to the library, you can see the opposite side of the road, across the river, is the courthouse. And in the backyard of the courthouse, the judge is getting ready. The judge, it turns out, is a dwarf. And it looks like Mari is back there being introduced to the judge by the sheriff.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Did you guys want to go to the library, or were you going to the courthouse? I forgot.
I think it's the courthouse,
I think
right?
we're going to the courthouse.
And wherever they keep books about the histories, right? So
I mean, both could be viable options.
yeah.
if they're that close together, it's no big deal to split some into the library and some into the courthouse.
Okay. Who's going to the courthouse?
Glup.
Glup?
Well, so go to the courthouse.
Glup, Zara?
I mean, I'll go to the courthouse or everyone else is going.
I think
Oops, sorry,
we're splitting up.
Whompi will go to the library because I have an idea for one.
All right. Whompi's going to the library. What about
I'll go
Bax?
wherever Zara's going.
Bax is going to the courthouse. And Kofrik.
To not have it, I guess, be a one-man split, I'll go to the library.
Okay.
Keep an eye on Whompi.
That was probably a good choice.
Courthouse team.
Assist Whompi.
Courthouse team, you can see that there's a lot of people at the front and back of the courthouse right now. The people in the back seem to be more official. That's the judge, the sheriff, and some of the helpers for the sheriff, like Mari. The front of the courthouse is where the people who are coming to see what's happening are. And in that group, you spot Miss Mabel, along with some other various villagers from around. They're waiting to get into the courthouse to sit and watch the show.
I'm surprised Miss Mabel is allowed to go, just in case, because they made all those precautions for her.
Yeah, they do still seem to be making precautions. From your angle, it looks like the precautions they're making is that they're trying to limit her ability to get in. She is a member of the town, she's allowed in, but they are concerned that they don't want her to do anything to the defendant. So far, the deputies seem to be being very polite about discussing it with her from the front porch of the courthouse and not inside. The door to the courthouse is open, and you can see that some people have gone in. Going into the courthouse, if you turn left, you're heading to where they actually hold the trials. If you turn right, there's the deputies' sort of open office, and beyond that is the jail.
And the deputies' offices where all the information would be?
Yep. The office has no door. It's just an open space. So you'll probably need to screen a little bit, but there's no deputy there watching. Some minor stealth checks. One success, and you can get records without anybody noticing. Then you'll have to actually start making some investigation rolls to see what you can find.
Yeah. Yeah, we ready to go in there?
Your team has 4 members. Who's doing what? I love you. Yes, you're the best kitty cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Wants to head wherever their paper records are.
Do we need a distraction, do you think?
Not so much. The events going on at the courthouse are a pretty big distraction. But it might be good if somebody would screen for the rest of the group. Basically stand in the way so that nobody happens to glimpse it.
Okay, who do you think? Who wants to screen?
Zara's a very small gnome.
probably will not block a lot of vision.
I think
But
the
you don't
movie
have to
always did
scream.
better. Sorry, well, no.
Sorry,
Is
go
it-
ahead.
I'm trying to decide if back should be lookout. I can be lookout.
Okay. Back's on lookout. What are you going to do to hide the activities of your compatriots and keep people who are walking by heading in the direction of the other room?
The other room is like where the trial's happening, right?
Yep.
Okay. Bax is going to try grandstanding and just being like, "Wow, so crazy news today, huh? They're gonna try that guy. That guy's kind of creepy and weird, huh?" And just like badger people so that they get into the room.
Excellent. Make a performance plus empathy check. Only one success needed.
Do I get points for my Gunther costume?
What's your costume?
My Gunther costume?
Oh yes. If you're grandstanding, for sure.
It's I only have one empathy, so this is what I got going for me. Let's see. How many pips do I get for my costume?
It is a quality 4 costume.
A
There you
single
go.
success.
Your grandstanding keeps people's attention focused. So now you've got 3 team members who can do investigation checks.
Excellent.
All right.
For every success, you will get a clue.
Could I potentially use crime perception as like I'm looking for information about like I know exactly like the details of different crimes and stuff?
Yeah, that would make sense. It wouldn't be perception, though. It would be probably crime plus cunning.
Okay.
It's not about how well you can see the words on the page. It's about figuring out the right page to read the words off of.
Shari's going to help by looking for the biggest, leather-bound, most piratey book that she can find. Or also maybe a scroll.
Awesome. That would probably be a focus plus investigation, I guess?
Yeah, 2 successes.
Very nice. We'll see how many other successes are gotten, and then I will hand out the clues accordingly.
I don't think there's anything tricky I can do here. I'm pretty sure I only have one dice.
1 die can still bring up 1 success. It's literally a 50-50 coin flip. Okay, well, got 2 successes from the criminal mastermind, so there will be 2 clues. Meanwhile, Team Library. If you're going to do something fancy, let me know what the narration is. Otherwise, the basic rules of the library are similar. Each success gives you a clue. However, the library is extremely boring. And so for each roll that you make to get a clue, you have to take a composure tax because of how boring it is.
Whompi
Great use
ain't
of
reading
credit.
these books. Whompi is picking books off the shelf that look like they might have something in them and shaking them out.
Did anyone think to ask Mari for help? She would happily help, but I didn't want to ask her because she's my character.
So Mari is not at the library. Mari is at the courthouse. But
Correct. Yeah.
No,
She would have followed people over to the library. She's quite bored with the courthouse.
But yeah, that is what Whompi's doing. If I'm not mistaken, the other triplets are here as well, right?
Yes.
I'd like to enlist the triplets in my scheme to ideally triple the speed at which I can check all the books for stuff that's stashed between the pages, like a map or something.
Okay. There are a lot of books, and it is a dull place, but go ahead and take your tax, make your roll, and let's see if anything
I'm
falls
not
out of
reading the books. I'm literally just throwing books around the room until I get kicked out.
Oh, okay. You can avoid your tax then, but we'll see what comes out.
I'm checking basically the books for stuff that's stashed in between the pages and stuff. Because, you know, there might be stuff, a map stashed between pages somewhere.
Is there anyone at the library? Like, is anybody actually watching it?
I don't know what role this is.
Yeah, I'm contemplating right now. I think it's an agility roll.
Vigor?
I think vigor, you're likely to get all the pages to fall out. What you're trying to do is get only loose pages to fall out and not break the book's bindings and have pages everywhere.
Is that what Whompi's trying to do?
I mean,
guess
that's what will
Whompi's
happen if you
fine.
roll a 0 here. If you get no successes, that's what the result's going to be. So, how to, if you're trying to avoid that, then, yeah, if you're trying to maximize how deep the pile of loose pages from unbound books is, then absolutely make a vigor roll.
I'm making the vigor.
Okay.
I did get success, so it's not a disaster.
All right, you have broken a couple books. There's some pages on the ground.
I mean, you got a success, so it is a disaster. That's the...
Yeah. You've succeeded in creating your disaster.
That... Alright.
Kofrik, what are you doing in the midst of this?
So to my earlier question, is there anyone here?
Yes. The herbalist is in her house next door, physically attached, and also the miller is here. The miller is going through tomes on gearworks and their interactions. Looks like he's planning another change to the mill.
I'll start by asking the miller if knows anything about any books on the like I was trying to decide if I was actually going to do the area or not.
If you'd like to just see if somebody here knows stuff about it, you can make a connections test. See if you have a connection here in town that has some information that will be helpful to you.
Yeah, that's fair. So is that just straight up rolling a connection?
Yep. Okay, so let's go through all the results. We'll start with the stuff Glup found in examining criminal records. Glup, you have found a pattern of unwarranted forgiveness going on, in which it seems that the sheriff has been cooking the books a little bit to hide his father's smuggling activities coming out of the general store. You also have noted, as from your second success, that a set of activities that is not from the general store seems to mirror the general store's frequency. Like when the general store is forgiven from an arrest, approximately a day later, there's another arrest of somebody doing something that's not affiliated. And this would be unremarkable, except that it seems to happen every time. So there's some kind of pattern between smuggling activity at the general store and some other group unaffiliated with the general store. Bookkeeping reveals great secrets. Let's see, Whompi, you, in the process of destroying things, did not learn much about treasure, but you did find a book about, it seems to be a copy of a book that Miss Mabel had in the library about Pelladia. And when you shook it, 2 pages fell out that were not sufficiently well attached. It may not be a clue to the pirate's treasure, but it is. It's interesting that it seems like these 2 pages were inserted and not part of the original book's binding. And then Kofrik, talking to the miller with your connections check, the miller comments that if there's any pirates around here, it's probably those applied thaumaturgy pirates that are trying to sell him this new machine that'll turn the mill with magic, but he's got to keep buying their little beans. Upon being further pressed, you learn where in the inn the salesperson is staying, who's selling a device that the miller is concerned may actually be a trick.
A magical device powered by beans? Is that what that was?
Upon asking for clarity, he says, well, they're not really beans. They're like these little magic marbles. You've probably seen Miss Mabel and Grammy using them for their cold storage boxes. They hold magical energy that has been standardized to be used with devices. And there's a gentleman trying to sell me a device that turns. It's a wheel that turns. You hammer it into the ground so that it's stable, and the wheel turns by magic. I wouldn't need wind, I wouldn't need water. It would just turn as long as I keep buying the marbles from him. But I don't think this guy knows a lick of magic. Certainly doesn't know anything about engineering. And I'm not sure that where he got the device is legitimate. So I'm doing my research right now to try and figure out exactly what's going on. For reference, I had mentioned this a while ago, but it's been 7 sessions. The miller is probably one of the wealthiest people in town. So if anyone here was to be a target of piracy, the miller is probably the one who would be targeted.
Some might say he's a millionaire.
He's definitely part of the process of making bread, that's for sure.
Incredible.
So these two pages sound interesting, but Whompi's absolutely not taking the time to read them. So he's just going to hand them to Trompy and Francis and say, "Here, read these. Tell me what it says."
It's part of the story of Pelladia. It basically kind of glosses over an encounter she had in a castle where there were some evil elves that were messing with people's souls, and she stopped them.
Boring, not pirates. Goes back to the storybook.
Eventually, the owners of the library stop you, get the staff together to try and repair the damage you've done, and kick you out.
So at least one of the things we can do is investigate the smugglings of the merchant in town.
Yeah, the owner of the general store is not the most up-and-up guy. But as the sheriff's father, he's gotten away with a lot more than he probably should have.
Was he at the trial?
So his store is directly across the street from the courthouse. So, but yeah, he seems to be in that area. It's Old Man Pinkle, who also was the guy who was driving the cart that originally carried you guys to the orphanage in the first session.
Yeah,
or the 0th session, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I learned all my crime from, was there.
Also where Whompi learned all Whompi's crime.
He has a surprising amount of knowledge of how to commit crimes. Perhaps it's unsurprising.
Shall we use our knowledge of crime to good use?
What do you have in mind?
Well, they got to be somewhere nearby where if he's smuggling anything, he has to be... It might be in the store, it might be nearby the store. So we might have to go sneak into the store and find out.
Is that the next plan? To go sneak into the store? Kofrik, you guys can meet back up on the road and share information. Because Kofrik also knows of another lead.
Zara's like, I'm pretty good at sneaking. I'm down for that. She's not very good at sneaking.
Well, did some of us want to go to the inn and some of us go to the store?
The general store is currently being operated by Pinkle's underlings, his employees, while Pinkle attends the trial. The inn is operated by Grammy, who's not going to be attending the trial, and her children and grandchildren army that she has collected. And somewhere in the inn, and you know what room, there is a merchant of ill repute. Who's going where?
What are the options against the inn to go talk to the merchant? And that was the other one?
The general store to see if you can find any records of Pinkle's Pinkle's smuggling operation 1, and there is some kind of parallel operation that's not part of Pinkle's crew that seems to always be active the day after Pinkle is active.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, with the records, what was the most recent one that was active?
From what Glup found,
Yes.
most recent one would have been a couple weeks ago. So about a week before you guys got here.
All right. Well, that wasn't helpful, but
The records indicate that, well, Pinkle's employee who was caught was kind of brushed under the table, swept under the rug, so to speak, and nothing came of it. The other person, they're pretty sure that they were up to no good, but they didn't have enough to hold them.
well, I don't have any ideas for what we'll.
I think
The,
the mic cut out
merchant.
there.
Sorry, I think the merchant is the better option.
Yeah, let's try the merchant.
Is everyone going to the merchant, or did anyone want to try to break into the general store?
Ooh.
I know I want to go to the general store if people want to follow me. I can climb the walls and stuff and probably find it.
All right, so Whompi's going merchant, Glup's going general store. Shari?
Shari's going to go talk to the merchant.
Bax?
General store.
Zara?
Go with general store as well.
And Kofrik.
Merchant. Yeah, I want to follow through.
Okay. Glup, Zara, Bax. What is your plan to break into the general store? The store is open for business, so it's not like a break-in, but how do you want to get to places you're not supposed to be?
So where do we? First off, who knows the layout? Is anyone here who knows like the general store layout?
Glup has worked here.
Okay, excellent. Glup, where is anything that's worth taking, or like what's in the office? Like where's the office or anything like that?
The office and the storage room share space, and that's basically the back area, which exits out onto the archery field. The front area is the store. Now, most of the space is the front area. As a general rule, you don't want to hide things from the customer. You want everybody to be able to see what is available to be purchased. So the back room is for perishables and for things that are perhaps too valuable to trust customers to not get their hands on them. Fragile things as well. And then the rest of the back area is dedicated to record keeping.
Do they normally have people at the back door?
Normally Pinkle is in the back, but today Pinkle is attending the trial. So right now, employees will go back there if they need to get something to show to a customer, or if they need to put something away that they don't trust customers with. Money is an example of that.
So now I'll go through the back door sneakily.
Okay. So you guide everyone through the back door. Make a stealth check. One success will be sufficient to get everybody in there. You may need to make additional checks if you start doing things that would be loud or highly visible.
We all make a stealth check.
Nope. Just your guide, Glup. There you go. So Glup manages to open the door silently and slip you guys in. And you are inside. All right, team in. You guys are going to go talk to the merchant. Are you going to knock on the door and talk to them, or did you want to try doing something sneaky?
I would say sneaky first.
All right, what's your sneaky plan?
I can create another distraction by boasting.
Okay. You're going to try and get the merchant to come out of the room?
Yes.
All right.
I will try doing so. Does the merchant ever have sales?
So the merchant is in town to sell a specific item to the miller. So this is not a general merchant. This is a traveling salesman that has a specific clientele, which is people who have mills that need the gears to turn, even when there's no wind or water.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if
I
you're
don't know
gonna,
if
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're trying to lure this person out, I almost think you would have to boast that you have a better thing than they do.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Okay.
And I know what it is because it was fully described to me, so I just can describe that out. But we know it's a device, and then all we have to basically do is lie and say you don't even need anything to power it; it just works constantly.
It just taps into the energies, man. You know, the energies in nature, man.
Given the way the physics of this world is designed, that is actually highly plausible.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, make your performance check. Let's see if you give a boast that gets their attention and gets them to come out of their room. It'll need to be a loud boast, unless you're going to open the door and brag to their face.
Can I use my vigor? Can I find a way to use my vigor?
Performance plus vigor. You're going to make it very loud. Yeah, sure.
I don't have performance. That's why I'm struggling here.
So you're just shouting at the top of your lungs, as loud as you
Yep.
can.
Yeah. Ha! Yeah, right. No one needs to buy these stupid magic beads. We have a machine that, you know, she taps on the fucking top of a box. This bad boy can power so many mills. You don't even need those things, man.
Are you going to go grab like a random box of something?
Yeah,
Whompi is
stuff like
going
that.
to accent this by smashing their shovel on the ground a couple times to make more noise.
Okay. Go ahead and make a vigor roll for Whompi. Performance plus vigor. And add those as pips.
And then I get to roll my vigor and my
roll your vigor with
gunther
whatever
outfit.
pips Whompi gets you from
I
shoveling.
tried.
You got a pip. There you go.
Do I add that to my Gunther outfit pips or no?
Yep. Help is always additive. You put on an incredibly noisy show, and the guy comes down from his room and challenges you on this claim. It's like, there's no way. There's no way this thing works. I want to see it. Show me this thing spinning with no magic.
Is there a physical attachment to the mill that turns?
It seems like that may have been what the miller was actually working on, is figuring out how to attach this device to his mill.
Yeah, but okay. So what's the mechanism that drives the motion? Like, is it like a thing that turns, like
Yeah.
an arm?
So you have a
Like,
box,
physically-
and there's a spoke that comes out of the box with like a hole in it, and that spoke rotates, and it just rotates forever no matter what. That's the idea. You have to keep feeding magic into it to keep it rotating, but as long as you can nail the box to something so it doesn't move, then the spinning piece will continue to create torque.
Talking about the mill, though. I guess I don't know.
I don't know
So
what's
it's
in
like
the
a thing I
box
can
that you
spin.
found.
I'm gonna turn whatever it is. I'm gonna turn it myself. In there.
Well, what is in this box that you're using?
It is imagination. That's what.
It's an empty box. Got it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, what did you think of as a child could supply? Like,
Wait. Is our plan to gaslight this guy to thinking that we can all see something that he can't?
Yes.
Wow. While this is happening, Kofrik, the room is empty now. If you want to sneak in.
Exactly. That is what I want to do.
All right, you're in the room. Perception plus investigation if you're looking for something. Otherwise, if you're just vandalizing it, I don't know. What's your play?
I mean, with my skills, looking around might just be vandalizing it. If I take the Whompi approach, just start destroying things.
You want to try your luck at a perception plus investigation first?
Yeah, might as well. That it sounds like that's what I would be doing, and it's not. It's not going to be good, but at least that's what I'm doing. I brought the wrong character out today. Definitely brought the wrong character out today.
Definitely brought the wrong character. Yeah. All right. So yeah, as far as you can tell, this guy he has some product here. Yeah, that's what you're able to find. Meanwhile, at the shop, Shari, Zara, Glup, you guys are inside in the back room where fragile stock and record keeping takes place. What are you guys doing here? Time may be limited. An employee may come back here at any moment.
Shari says we should split up, and then she just points at some people and says, "Go check the stock. I'll go check the records." She's going to roll her leadership.
Okay. Taking charge. Everybody.
She does poorly at her leadership, but she's been learning.
Yeah, I mean, all your teammates get an extra 0 pips for their next roll. Go, Shari.
Yeah, Glup's gonna think like a criminal, and like if these are supposed to be like files and stuff that like are supposed to be secretive, I guess he's gonna like check out, like to make sure if there's any other hidden compartments in like the desks and stuff to see if like you can find things with criminal.
Okay, make a crime plus perception check to look for hidden compartments. Shari, also, if you're going to be searching through his records, you can go ahead and make a focus plus investigation check for record searching. And then Zara, what are you doing?
So I'm trying to think of like what we might find in the stock. I could go check there, but I'm just not sure what we would actually find there. That's just like their extra storage.
Yeah, it's the storage where they keep things that customers might damage if they were handled improperly, or stuff that might be like too valuable to leave out, where somebody might try and shoplift it.
Okay.
This is a general store, so most of what they're carrying are things like provisions for the road, rope, tools. There's not a lot of like really high-end stuff, so when there is something that's even a little bit valuable, it would be back here.
Okay. So are the goods kind of like stacked top?
The what?
Like I'm pretty short. Like so, how is everything kind of like laid out?
Right. So the room itself is 2 stories tall, and has basically shelves in lines going up with ladders that can roll back and forth to get to the different shelves. And then the bottom floor of it is record keeping. Is a desk with papers, and then these towering filing cabinets full of various documents, and then a big sort of cork board with parchment nailed to it showing the name of the employee of the month, and the scores, as apparently he keeps score as to how well their employees do. There's 2 scoreboards. There's the made a good sale scoreboard, and there's the fell for some kind of thievery scheme scoreboard. So you can see who's suffering the most from the various pranks that the owner pulls to try and keep everybody sharp and on their toes.
Secret shoppers. All right, so Zara's going to kind of check out the, precious items storage, kind of looking for anything out of place that doesn't look like something that a general store might have. And she's kind of just like climbing up the shelving, any way she can, maybe relying on the ladders probably makes the most sense.
Okay. Go ahead and make a investigation. Probably perception plus investigation. So let's see. We got result from Tice. Tice, you absolutely found hidden compartments. It would actually be shocking if there weren't hidden compartments here, given the nature of the person who runs the place. Ed, did you want to make Shari's paper trail investigation?
Sure. I mean, she's not very good at that either, but, it's never stopped.
You never know.
It's like it would be perception?
Focus plus investigation.
Very good. I've succeeded. I mean, to the degree that
there's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
You've succeeded in trying.
I look at the rest of the group and say, there's a lot of numbers here. I think it's suspicious.
Pinkle actually does teach a talent called Accountant that would be very helpful in this situation. In any case, so Tice, you find you're searching the desk, and you find hidden compartments with records of smuggling that is going on between Celebre and Half-Elven, and adjacent to that, in your second success, you find that it's not just a smuggling operation that's going on, but also Pinkle is receiving payments from some additional organization. So it's not just that Pinkle's doing the smuggling, but Pinkle's also getting some payments for somebody else, or from somebody else for some additional service being provided that's being kept off the books.
Okay, I'm gonna stuff those into my jacket and my shirt.
Okay. You have enough of a clue that you could probably figure out the physical location where these exchanges are happening from the
Okay.
payments. And then, Zara, you actually, in looking through the physical things, you find some, I mean, it's pirate treasure. It's a very small amount, but it's some gemstones and some coins and some just jewelry. Gold jewelry, the kind that you totally, in all of the storybooks, associate with, like, this is what you find when you open up a pirate's treasure chest. It's not a huge amount. It's just a tiny amount. But by comparing that with what Glup has found, you note that the amounts match the records that Glup has as the bribes that are being given for assistance in somebody else's smuggling operation.
Hell yeah! Pirate treasure! Is any of the, what kind of wearable jewelry is there here?
Rings. It's mostly rings. Nothing here is big enough to be a bracelet. There's maybe some pendants, but there isn't a chain to wear them with. Like I said, this is a really small quantity. This is not a huge pirate stash.
Yeah, I know where we can go to get more. As I go onto the board and I swap everything on the board for like so that each list has like things on each other's lists. So like employee of the month is like the most pranked of the month is dead.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, back at the inn, you guys haven't really figured out what's going on with this guy, but he is absolutely livid that you're insisting your invisible magical machine is working.
I'd like to have Whompi run around to the other people at the end, like very quietly, like outside almost, and go, "Hey, we're performing a play. We need practice. We need a practice audience. If you all could just play along, that would be great. Thank you." And like taking like cookies from Grammy and giving everybody a free cookie as well to
fair
like
enough.
run them.
All right. Performance plus empathy, and because of the cookies, add an extra 2 pips.
Can I use my gift of the small here as well? Unless it's so small.
The main difficulty here isn't keeping it secret. It's convincing the noontime crowd, who are mostly just like resting on from their journey and getting ready to continue down the road to play along with a silly game. Okay, now you get a bunch of people into it, and the crowd. It's not a big crowd, but the noontime crowd who's there for lunch, they're into it. They're helping out. They're pretending they see the device.
Excellent.
The guy's like kind of like backing off. He's upset. He's like, I'm trying to do I'm trying to do legitimate business. Why are you all indulging this childish slander against my product?
Shh, it's part of the play.
With that set up, Kofrik and Bax, did you guys want to do anything?
I thought I was helping with the whole perpetual motion machine skit with my boasting and all that.
Yep. Yeah, you're boasting, and Whompi has gotten the crowd to basically play along with you. They're pretending that this imaginary machine is working. They're pretending they can see it. They're applauding at what a wonderful job it's doing at whatever it is, because they don't really understand.
That's amazing.
You're gonna continue boasting?
Yes. Is
Okay.
that... Do I need to roll again, or...
No.
Okay.
Not to just continue boasting. If you wanted to do something else or make another attempt at accomplishing something different, this is an opportunity to do that, as you have the full attention of the crowd.
I think we're just trying to keep this guy busy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're continuing to distract him then to give Kofrik another chance at finding something. So Kofrik, you've scanned the room. There doesn't seem to be anything that you can see. The papers on the desk all seem to be normal business papers from what you understand. There are some, like I said, he has some product there. He has some machines that are there, and he has some bags with the little magic marbles. And there is a window. This particular room is on the 3rd floor, but you can hear the noise from below. Kofrik?
Also means throwing something out the window isn't gonna survive the fall necessarily. Although this merchant was selling amazing product, so maybe it would. I recall the miller said, like, was annoyed that he would have to basically be like stricken to the marbles, but didn't he also said it? I thought he had said like that it can't work, like it won't work, or was he just saying like he didn't want to pay for it?
Both. He doesn't want to be beholden to this guy for marbles. Apparently the guy is claiming that he would have to buy the marbles from him. But from what he understands about magic, that's not the case. That anyone could cast the spell that creates the marbles, and those marbles should be good for any of these devices. So he said that either this person does not understand the magic he's selling, or he has done something to the machine or to the marbles that is not kosher.
Okay, this is excellent. So what we're gonna do too is convince him to try and explain how his machine works.
It's quite simple. You buy Malin the Magnificent's special patented orange marbles, and you put them in the machine, and the machine turns for a month. And then you put in the next marble, and it continues to turn for another month.
But how does the marble work?
I cast a magical spell that creates the marble out of thin air.
Out of nothing?
That's right.
Ours doesn't even need anything.
Not even a marble.
Turns to crowd for cheering.
Crowd cheers, and then he says, "What's it turning now?"
Your mind, bro.
Kofrik, did you want to narrow your search and re-roll with a specific thing you're looking for?
Well, so I know, like, I have the marbles here, and I have the machines here.
Yep. These marbles are orange. The marbles that you've seen Miss Mabel using back at home to make your refrigerator work are blue. But they have the same glow to them. They're also the same size.
The only thing I can think as far as looking is looking for if there are any other marbles here, or if there's...
You know that they keep some marbles down in the kitchen. Here at the end, they keep some of the blue marbles down in the kitchen to make their own cold box work.
Oh, so can I, instead of investigation, can I run down and try to get a marble and bring it back up?
Yes.
And then just put it in the machine?
All right, you put one of the blue marbles in the machine, and the machine works perfectly. It starts to turn.
Excellent.
Who's watching this happen right now?
No,
This is-
this is up on the third floor. You guys are down
I
in the
see, I
main
see, I see.
area. But lunch is being served now, as it's now noon. And word has come from the docks that the ship has brought in a wonderful catch of fresh fish that will be available for dinner. Grammy is updating the menu.
As soon as I can, I'll head back down to try to enforce the strategy of getting him to prove his devices work, and I have ulterior motive with that.
Okay, are you bringing the devices down with you?
Yeah, sure. That works. That's part of it.
Okay, you bring two of the devices, two that are not powered up at the moment, down with you, and presumably some of his orange marbles.
Yeah, some of his orange marbles, or just specifically, I guess, one to prove that his thing works, and then I'll be trying to secure another blue one.
Okay. When you get down there, he immediately attempts to accuse you of stealing. So you'll need to make a quick persuasion check for the audience to not think you kids are up to no good. Bearing in mind that Elros has not created a good reputation for you kids up here.
Okay.
Whompi's reputation is medium.
Just wait till I get my talent, though. Because there's a talent I'm getting that's going to affect that.
Is it Rumor Mill?
That wasn't what I was going for.
Okay. Well, there's some really good social talents out there, so I'm excited to find out what it's going to be. Yeah. So, are you making a persuasion plus empathy to convince them that you're not stealing, but are in fact going to do a Scooby-Doo reveal?
Yeah.
Cool.
Put it in the machine.
And I mean, I'll merely start off with I was just, assisting in bringing down to show off your great wear. Oof.
It's like, hey, you kids, stop tampering with that. This is dangerous magical equipment. He's going to collect his machines from you.
Assuming that Kofrik has had a plan here, and taking very much a half shot in the dark, Whompi is going to say, "Why don't you want to show it to us? Is it because you are a fraud and a charlatan?" And just accuse him straight up.
Yes.
Okay. Persuasion plus empathy.
Do I get anything for still having the crowd on my side, or have they left me now?
They've been engaged in the charade. They're not really part of this part of it. Okay, you get control of the situation then, and demand your demonstration. All right. So Kofrik, go ahead and narrate what you're going to demonstrate.
Well, playing it out fully. Like I got them back.
Whompi saved you there and gave a quick accusation that has gotten the crowd back on your side.
Got it. So I'll just I'll continue. I guess what I was initially gonna say, and it was that I brought down his inventions as we all wanted to see, like his how his worked. And I'll set the two down, or and I'll reveal one of the orange whatever they're called, marbles, and say the claim is that these are the only things that make this work, and I gesture to him and pop one in.
Says that's right. See how it turns? It'll turn for a whole month.
And I go along with it and say amazing. And then pull out a blue bead or a blue marble and say, but these won't work, correct?
He looks a little frightened, but just a little. He now has changed his wording slightly, and it says, to my knowledge, it has to be the orange ones in order for it to function properly.
And I'll clarify what the blue ones are and what we use them for, usually, like storage.
So he moves to intercept you. Basically, he's trying to take the blue one from you to give the demonstration himself. So this is going to be opposed agility checks here.
Oh.
Can Whompi, being very small and very easy to get caught up in this guy's feet, get in the way?
Yes, you can do a collaborative test against this guy here. He's rolling crime plus agility against you.
Whompi is also going to roll crime plus agility.
So you need to overcome his 3 successes to avoid him taking over the show and taking the marble from you.
By the way, Kristen said her Discord crashed, so there she is.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to. My goal is to put a marble in. So is that just like if we're opposing on agility, is that just agility unarmed?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
This is. Can I again talk myself into maybe lessons of the small?
On this one, yes.
Okay.
You're getting underfoot. Definitely a small advantage. Oh, you stop him. He's face plants. Are there any more successes? Because we can do more than just stop it. Things can get worse for him.
There's one more.
All right. And Bax, did you want to contribute to the villain's demise?
Yeah, can I use athletics and vigor to try and trip him?
Yes. The harder you guys trip him, the worse this is going to get for him.
But does my outfit count for anything on this at all, or no?
Pips, you're being heroic.
It's true.
All right.
Wrecking house here, just fucking him up.
When you knock him over, you see that he had palmed in his hand a blue marble, similar to the blue marble you're going to put in, and has in his pocket, which spills out, a bag with some similar blue marbles. Kofrik, you go ahead and put your blue marble in, and it works.
Whompi is going to pick up a bunch. I assume that these marbles have like gone everywhere on the floor now.
Yeah, scattered. Yep.
Whompi's going to pick it up and just let float out. Like to Whompi, this is lifting it really high up in the air, just letting it fall to the ground where it bounces everywhere. To everybody else, it's Whompi lifting it to like waist height and dropping it. But he says, "See, this man is a fraud and a charlatan, and he's come here to rip everybody off. This was not a play. This was an exposure. A fraudster."
Amazing.
And throw a marble at him.
One of the waitresses picks up the marble and says, "Yeah, these are fakes." The crowd is now quite upset at this guy.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
He's a fraud. Grammy knows which way the winds are blowing and lets the customers run him out of the inn. It means he won't be paying for any additional night stays, but yeah. Grammy knows better than to put profit over the good of the community. Pinkle, on the other hand, so meanwhile at Pinkle's store, you guys have found evidence of Pinkle taking bribes from somebody that has a camp off in the woods. You've got documentation about the amounts and where they came from. And yeah, did you guys want to do anything else other than the vandalism that Glup engaged in with the Employee of the Month board?
I'm good to head out before we get caught.
Good plan.
Because I have an exit plan. Like, I don't know if we're going to have time to be able to actually go to the meeting place or not.
Yeah, Zara's pretty excited with the pirate treasure we found, so I'm ready to go.
All right. So everybody meets out back on the road, and you have your two things that you've figured out. So it is now past noon, which means that the ship is docked. If you wanted to go talk to Lorpin, thank you. Can't believe I forgot that name. Yes, if you want to go talk to Lorpin, you can do that, or you now know where some actual real-life villains are currently camped in the woods. Do you want to go straight to the camp, or do you want to go get an adult?
An adult might be helpful, even though I want to be chaotic.
I feel like we want to get an adult, and as much as Whompi will be saying that we don't need adults, I do think that we should probably get it.
Let's go find the pirate expert, and then we'll go take him to go help us fight these pirates, potentially.
Another thought, we've just saved the miller a lot of money. Possibly. The miller might be willing to come along.
Shari says, we found a really bad person. There's a trial going on right now. We should go into the court and we should shout there's an objection.
I like your style.
You guys are in the middle of town. You've got a lot of resources available to you.
If you want to jump into the middle of the trial, I'm happy to join you.
All right, well, let's figure out where everybody's going. So we'll just go down the list. Bax, where are you headed?
We just exposed a villain, so definitely want to turn him in. To the court, I guess?
Okay. Zara, where are you headed?
I will join in on the court shenanigans.
Excellent. Shari?
Yeah, I'm going to head to the court shenanigans.
Glup?
Court shenanigans.
Kofrik?
It's kind of hard to oppose where we're going.
All right. And Whompi?
Court shenanigans.
Court shenanigans it is. The whole group is heading to the courthouse. Everyone, all the adults are now inside the courthouse. Court is in session. Arguments are being given. Most everyone is sitting down. You guys burst in the back door. What do you say?
Well, first, Whompi smashes the shovel on the ground a couple times to get everybody's attention if they haven't begun already.
Oh man, I can't. Okay,
Is there,
I got it.
is it only the judge that has like sort of kind of thing, or is there a jury as well?
No, there's the judge, the sheriff. There is no defense attorney. So basically, what's going on? This is a very rural court situation. The judge has to be both the judge and representative for the defense in this kind of a situation. The prosecution is basically the sheriff. And it's half a court case and half an investigation as they bring the judge up to speed on everything that they're accusing this person of and giving the person a chance to explain himself to the judge so the judge can formulate what his defense should be and then make a judgment about it against the sheriff's word. You guys have no idea exactly what was spoken here, but the children that did attend this will have a much more detailed accounting of it.
So while Whompi is banging their shovel on the ground, I'm just going to shout, "Order in the court!"
Yeah. While that's happening, Glup is going to go jump onto one of the tables, and he's going to pull out all those papers of incriminating evidence against Mr. Perkles, and he's going to be like, "We found evidence that the shop owner is a villain," and he's going to start tossing them out around the area to like, so people might have like, well, I have to pick them up and stuff, but like just so that the sheriff can't like immediately grab them from him, he's just gonna like scatter them so that like people have time to look at them.
Okay. Is anybody else going to talk about a villain?
Shari's just going to say, objection! As loud as she can.
Whompi's also going to shout after the shovel banging. There was a fraud and a charlatan that was staying at the inn, and we have to go quickly because he's been run out of town.
A few moments later, Zara will also yell, "Objection!"
Yeah. Also, there's pirates outside the town that are working with the P guy.
All right. In the general chaos of all of your accusations and objections, the judge is shouting, "Bailiff, clear them out of here and lock the door." A couple of the the sheriff's deputies presume that they're the ones who are being yelled at by the judge, and start gathering you kids up.
This is an injustice!
Whompi is going to run around and just be like a slippery little halfling.
Okay.
The entire time shouting about how there is so many fraudsters and
We have credible evidence!
If I could grab like some of the papers and like hand them to people like Miss Mabel, presumably, or something, I'll also do that. But that might.
Yeah, Miss Mabel is not looking pleased at the moment. It seems that she's not in a good mood from what she's hearing at this trial. But your disruption did seem to make her smirk a bit. But now she's getting up to help them gather you guys up. She does take the papers that you give her, though.
Yeah. Try to figure out the best way to use crime and agility in this situation to make it worse.
Reverse pickpocket? I'm sorry, that was the mean part of me thinking about how to make things worse. Yeah, up to you. But if you don't make some kind of action, then the adults are going to gather the kids up. There are an overwhelming number of them in this room. You're not going to be able to overcome all of them.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to while like things are happening, I'm gonna accidentally jump on one of the tables where the evidence is like provided or whatever, and like cause some like destruction of it. But like, yeah, make it look like I did it not on purpose. So like, there's less evidence against this guy.
Do we want this guy free?
It's chaos.
I mean, probably not, since he is very likely a variant of child murderer, but
Yeah, he's bad. I don't want him out.
He was a little crazy.
Well, to be fair, even if he gets out, he's not going to get that far. You don't think Miss Mabel will let him outside of that town if he gets provided instances? You think he's going to actually leave this town?
Alrighty, so they gather you kids up, deposit you out in front of the courthouse. You may have caused something with some of the papers you left behind. You're not sure. You do still have the did you guys deposit that treasure out there? Were you tossing the treasure around with the paper?
I wasn't. I didn't have the treasure there.
Okay.
That's a question for Zara, I think.
Zara, what became of the treasure?
Everyone looks over and Zara's just got like these rings on her fingers, but they're way too big, but she's just like rattling them around. And then in my pocket I have whatever other things there that were there other than the rings.
Shall we divvy up the gold?
Aye.
I think this treasure would be evidence against the shopkeeper.
Oh, they already got the papers. This is if they want to get more of it, they can just go to the place where it's all at.
So where are you guys going next? They won't let you back into the courthouse.
Let's go get our pirate friend and go fight some pirates.
We could. The Miller is like right here, though, right?
Yeah, in the library.
We could literally just
Yeah.
swing by the Miller and go, "Hey, so it turns out we exposed that guy as a charlatan, but you can take his machine and like just use regular marbles, and it's great." And then try and rope the Miller in on our adventure as well.
Miller is grateful for that knowledge. That's excellent because the machine did seem to be useful, and there are times when the winds are bad. I just didn't want to, be stuck with a single source of those marbles. But if any mage can cast the spell and their marbles work, then that's an easier marketplace for me to do business in. Where was he getting these orange marbles? Somebody had to be tampering with the marbles to create these, since they work the same, right?
I assume so.
He had a bunch of the blue ones in his pocket when we exposed them. They all fell out and went everywhere.
From your description to him of the events, it seems like the blue ones were fake marbles that wouldn't work, that he used to demonstrate that blue ones didn't work. It was part of his scam.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Also, we need help taking out some pirates because.
Do you think they're related?
Sort of, but we found some treasure.
Might be.
Treasure.
Might be related.
Yeah, we still don't know where the orange marbles came from.
Well, let's go have a chat with this gentleman. Where did he go? Which way did they send him when they ran him out? And you point to a direction, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just go have a little chat. So he starts walking down the road, calm as can be. A little ways south, they find the trail that he's been following of this guy's footprints in the mud. Takes a sharp left turn and heads into the woods.
Does this look like the same area where the thing might be?
It does. This looks like where the camp that you saw noted in Pinkle's information is.
Oh, we're going to the same place Pinkle has his secret pirate treasure.
Pirates, you say? All right. Best that we not go in alone. Turns back. So everyone's going to be busy with the trial. Who can we get to help us?
There's the ex-pirate on the boat. They just came back.
Indeed. That's an excellent choice.
X flexes for muscles.
While he smashes the shovel on the ground again.
And be recruited. For more adventure.
Of course, it'll take us a little bit of time. Maybe I should stay here while you kids go and get them?
I guess so. I guess Glup can speed along, hopping.
Whompi takes off that a full sprint as much as Whompi can with the shovel.
All right. So Glup and Whompi leave. Is anybody else leaving to go get help, or is anyone staying here with the Miller?
I'll stay with the Miller just because I'm not. I don't feel like I'm gonna move very fast.
Okay.
Go with the pursuers. for the people that are going to get help for
Okay.
tracking down the villain.
Sherry's going to go wherever there's a better chance of seeing the pirate treasure.
Which one would that be? One group is staying here, where on the path where the entrance to the woods where the pirate camp supposedly is. The others are going to go talk to an ex-pirate to get their help in confronting the pirates.
She's very concerned and indecisive. She eventually decides to go see the ex-pirate because she'll get to see a pirate.
Okay.
Yeah, Zara's gonna join the ex-pirate gang.
So it looks like just Kofrik is staying behind. Is that right?
I think if everybody's going, Whompi would stay behind as well.
Okay.
Whompi is just running off of caffeine at this point.
All right. So everybody else, you guys go and you talk to the fishing family. They are understandably a little bit concerned, but let's see. Lowendell himself isn't going to come. Lorpin is going to come. And Lowendell's kids want to come along with you. They're also in for the adventure, and they're not children. They're like, yeah, late teens, early 20s. So, all right. And when you guys get back to the road, the three that you left behind, the miller and the other two, are missing. They're missing because, rewind, shortly after the four who are heading to get help leave, there is some rustling in the bushes around you, and men with bows drawn come out and surround you. Stay where you are, and none of the little ones will have to be hurt. And under threat of harm and injury, the three of you are taken into the woods to the camp. All right, rescue team, you have arrived on the scene. All the tracks now lead in, and there's a lot more of them now. A big crowd of boot prints in the mud lead into the forest.
Well, they were here.
Lorpin looks at the tracks and says, I think you kids should head on home now.
They're friends.
He sighs and says, look, these men are not going to play nice. They're not going to give you special consideration because you're young.
Oh, I know where I can go. And I'll hop off.
Okay, you start hopping down the road. Lorpin says, I can't make you stay, but really, please do. Miss Mabel would kill me if anything bad happened to you.
Shari says, Miss Mabel will kill everyone if anything bad happens to us. That's why I think it's totally safe for us to go.
Lorpin sighs and says, you are probably right. And he hops into the woods, and the Lowendell brother and sister go in after him.
Shari runs along and says, remember, Miss Mabel will protect us. So we're here to protect you.
All right, Glup, where are you heading?
I'm heading back to the courthouse to try to get back to knock on the door politely to ask for Miss Mabel's presence for a moment.
Okay. So at the pirate camp, the two of you, well, and the miller, so three of you are currently tied up to a post that has been hammered deep into the earth. And yeah, they've lashed you to it, and they're now talking about how they're going to ransom them. One of them keeps saying, like, they're young, bet the frog would give us some good money for them. He seems to be friendly with the kids from that town. Another says, we've already extorted enough from the frog. Don't think we're getting any more this month. So can't deal with the sheriff. He'll have other ways of coming at us. Gotta keep this sly. Maybe the herbalist? And they continue making their plans.
What's like around us?
Forest, and so there's tents here, but these are not like they're not camping tents. These are big. These are like ex-military kind of tents from like staging grounds for armies, sort of thing. So they're very big, very tall, and they're not exactly permanent, but they're not easy to set up and tear down. It's like a day of setup to get them all set up. They're big enough to stand up in. They have tables in them and stuff. There's like actual furniture. Those of you in the rescue party, Lorpin does not seem to be doing any tracking whatsoever. It almost seems like he knows this route and has walked it before. Or hopped it. Is it new? Ahead in the distance, you see the glimmer of firelight as the late afternoon sun is behind you as you head east up into the woods in the hill. Glup, you need to make a persuasion check to get past the deputies that have been posted to prevent you from getting back into the courthouse.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to actually be in there. I just want Miss Mabel to come up for a second. I got an emergency.
Make your roll.
Ooh.
You've caused enough trouble for Miss Mabel for tonight.
But children kidnapped.
Yeah, and Pinkle's a criminal. I heard you. Scram, you little rascal. Enough of your stories.
Okay, if I'm right, and Miss Mabel finds out that you would not help protect children.
Would an extra pip for that argument have changed that result?
I don't think so. I need a 6. I need 3 pips.
Yeah, no. You were not persuasive. He thinks you're lying.
So were they only checking they were keeping guard at the front door, or the
yes,
locked, and they locked the back door?
The back door is where the judge goes in. You don't know. You haven't checked it.
I guess I'll check the back door, and
No one is guarding the back door.
I'll check if it's locked or anything.
It is locked, but it's not a complicated lock.
I guess I'll unlock it. My crime.
Yeah, make your crime check. Pinkle's been teaching you.
Would that be perception?
No. Picking a lock would be typically it's agility plus crime, although agility plus engineering is also permitted in a lot of situations.
Okay, agility plus crime. 2 successes.
You successfully pick the lock using the knowledge you got from Pinkle. It's a shame you were trying to betray him.
I guess I'll try my best to be calmly going through because I know exactly where Miss Mabel is, right?
Yeah, so you enter from the back, which means you come out behind the judge. Literally everyone other than the judge sees you come in behind the judge. A hush falls over the courtroom. The judge doesn't know what's going on. What? What's happening? She eventually does turn around when somebody points at it's like, Frog. It's like, child, what are you doing here?
I need to speak to Miss Maybell. Children have been kidnapped.
Miss, can you please take care of your children? And Miss Mabel gets up, comes, picks you up, and heads outside. Says, what is wrong, Glup?
Pirates have kidnapped some of the children into the forest.
Now, Miss Mabel asks you, is this real, or are you making a disruption again?
I promise I'm not making a distraction.
You don't need to roll. When Miss Mabel uses that tone of voice, she believes the next thing you say. Yeah. And you do find it very difficult if you were to try to lie to her at that moment. So she says, okay. You didn't see her carrying the staff, but for some reason it's in her hand right now. She reaches up and puts some kind of black makeup or ash or something over her eyes in vertical lines, puts her glasses on, and says, show me which way.
Okay, I'll hop as fast as I can.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the camp, Team Rescue, you guys are at the outskirts of the camp. You've got a good vision of the pirates. There are a bunch of them. You make out, it looks like somewhere between 15 to 20 pirates. They're land pirates, so the technical name for them would be bandits.
Before this happens, can I have Whompi make an attempt to slip the bonds, given how difficult it must be to type an 8-year-old halfling who wouldn't stop moving?
Yes, absolutely. Lessons of the small applies here.
Yeah. What would this be?
Crime, you could say.
Yeah, this is escape artist is a kind of crime.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gone. There's nothing they can do about that.
Yeah, I just run off into the woods and try and find. I like to, because I don't know this rescue part is coming yet, or is here yet. I go and I like whisper before I like run. It's like, I'll go get help, and then book it. If I see my shovel, I grab my shovel.
You do not see your shovel. It was left behind when you were captured.
If I see anything, I grab it.
There are sticks. It's a forest.
Yep.
You've got a stick.
Stick and stone.
Rescue team, you see little Whompi dashing back past you.
Hey, where are you going?
Let them escape.
Might not want to shout too loud about that.
I let Whompi pass in hopes that they'll find a help, you know.
All right. Yeah, it's by the light of the setting sun and the fire that they got going. You can see the captives. Now 2 of them are tied to a post in the middle of the camp with the tents all around. What's your plan? Actually, it's not even a plan at this point. What is your action? We can just go down the list if you want. Shari?
I'm just super disappointed. These are bandits. I don't know whether to be upset at them for cheating us and making us think they're pirates, or whether to be sad because they seem to have lost their ship.
Shari probably wouldn't know this, but it looks like it's a mercenary company that's just gotten so far past rock bottom that dwarves would be proud of their digging. Let's see, Bax, what did you want to do?
Has Whompi successfully exited the camp?
Yes, they did not have a
Okay.
prayer stopping that.
Okay. How many people are awake?
Most of them, actually. It's only early evening,
Okay.
so they're all up and active and getting an evening meal prepped. So some of their hunters have returned with deer and boar.
Okay. Do they? How many people do they have on lookout, like watching?
It's not really clear that they have a formal lookout yet, and not at this early stage. There's about 15 of them in total all over the camp. Any of them, if they spotted something, could easily yell to the others. You are seriously outnumbered.
Okay. How are the tents arranged? Like close together, far apart?
Close together.
Okay. Might try and start a fire, but I'll figure out how to do that.
All right. You want some time to think about it, or do you want to light something on fire?
I would like to try lighting something on fire.
Go for it.
What do I gotta roll for that?
This is stealth plus agility to not be noticed while you're lighting it on fire. The actual act of lighting it on fire is easy. They have some fires there that you can use if you can get close enough. So if you can stealth up, you can put a stick in the fire. You've got fire. Set a tent on fire and get out.
All I've got is 2 dice and a dream.
Let's find out. One of them shouts, "Hey, I found that kit! No, wait, this one's bigger." What?
Do I successfully light something on fire?
You do successfully light something on fire. You've been noticed.
I throw the fire in the most flammable corner of a tent I can find.
Oh, that kid's trying to burn our stuff.
Actually, you know what? I take whatever is. I'm assuming I have like a stick, a burning stick, like a pretty good on fire stick, a bundle of brush. I'm going to try and run across the tents and light as many of them on fire as possible to create a huge disruption.
Okay, give me athletics plus vigor to see how many you light.
I think this is very heroic, so I'm using my outfit to do this gloriously.
I believe in you.
I believe in me too, but does the DM believe in me?
Row, fight the power.
I'm just like running around going, "Rah!" like a burning stick in my hand. Do I get to roll my pips or no?
For your costume? Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Excellent. Let's do this. We light 3 tents on fire.
You light 3 tents on fire. You are tackled, taking 2 damage. This is tax to your health unless you're going to mitigate it through some other way. If you can mitigate it with avoid, then you are not actually tackled. You just got out of the way.
I don't have enough avoid to make that work.
Alright, you are tackled then. Take 2 tacks from the impact damage of a fully armored adult tackling you.
Oof!
Next up, Zara. Are you tied to a post?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Who was the other person who was tied to a post? Was it Kofrik? It was Kofrik, yeah. Alright, so Zara, what is your action? 3 tents are on fire. Bax has been caught.
Anyone else with me?
Yeah, you're there with Shari, and, well, it's, yeah, basically Shari. It's you and Shari right now, and the 2 kids from the Fishers, and the first mate.
Cool. And those other folks haven't done anything yet.
So it's you, Shari, Lorpin, Cerebream, and McElroy.
Do I have a visual on the people that are tied up, the 2?
Yes. From the shadows of the forest, you can see into the camp where they are tied to a stick, like a big post rammed into the ground.
After the latest altercation, does it look like there's any people around them right now?
The 3 tents that are on fire are quite a distraction. So if you're going to do a stealth check, you've got 3 pips helping you.
Well, I'm gonna try my best to go and at least untie both of them if I can.
Okay. Agility plus stealth.
And then 3 pips, right?
Yes. You get them both.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. All right, yeah. So basically, I run and scurry over there and manage to untie them.
So now everyone has been saved except for Bax, who's been caught.
Worth it. I'm a hero.
Kofrik, you've been rescued now. Do you want to leave the situation? The Miller certainly does. Miller's wants to take you kids and just leave. All right, while you're thinking about it, Shari, what do you want to do? You've been holding your action.
Yeah. I mean, how many people are here? Like, how many bandits are we dealing with?
15 bandits.
And they are aware of my presence, I assume.
They are aware of Bax's presence. Yeah. But not necessarily yours. You're still in the forest. You haven't entered the camp yet.
Okay.
But Zara did enter the camp stealthily and managed to sneak out the Miller and Kofrik without any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only issue at the moment is that Bax has been tackled and is trapped. So while mission accomplished, you've rescued everybody, you lost somebody in the process.
Isn't help coming? Isn't well? I don't know that obviously, but
Yeah, Miss Mabel has been alerted by Glup, but you wouldn't know that. That would be meta knowledge.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If I haven't been spotted yet, I might just hunker down and wait to see how things transpire. No one else looks to be in massive danger, that there was some tackling going on.
Bax is in massive danger.
Yeah, how many people are on Bax right now?
1 so far. There are an additional 14 that could contribute. And they're going to be especially mad when they find out that during that distraction, they lost their other captives. If you want to hunker down, though, that's totally fine. This is just a child. It's not their responsibility to rescue anyone. That responsibility is with the adults.
Were the adults doing anything?
So the miller is trying to get you to safety. And that's Lorpin is there, and Lorpin and the kids are going to come in and try and intervene with Bax, but they're going to be massively outnumbered when they do.
Shari storms into the clearing and says, "Hey, you!" It's like it's just a kid. You guys are gonna be in big trouble. She's just basically shouting it.
All right. You create a sufficient distraction that allows Lorpin to perform an aerial sneak attack, which takes one of them down, and then the brother and sister are right beside him, and they form up a very small spear formation, and begin advancing on the guy that's got Bax pinned.
All right. As an intimidation attempt, I'm just going to say, the last people that did this to us, all that was left of them were their boots.
All right. Make a persuasion plus vigor check. It is effective. They back off from the spears a little bit, but they are working to surround Lorpin and the kids. Bax, you've been freed, and Lorpin kind of suggests that you run behind him and is trying to back away, but this group has some military training, and the bandits are in a U formation surrounding Lorpin and the two kids. And it's about that time when Glup lands next to you as you guys are retreating into the woods. And up in the trees, you hear a hooting like an owl. There's a white shape with big eyes. They look like owl eyes. The reflection of the moon makes them shine, and there's like a big vertical pupil in the eyes.
Would Whompi have come across them all the way up?
Probably, yeah.
All right.
With a sound that sounds like the fluttering of wings, Miss Mabel leaps down out of a tree and lands in front of Lorpin, who sighs with relief and just starts backing away. And Miss Mabel basically just says a hoot at all of the people that are there. The pirates seem to be frozen, as though fear has struck them. They're unable to move, and Lorpin and the miller usher all you kids away into the woods.
Whompi is insistent that Whompi will not leave without Whompi's shovel.
Lorpin helps you find the shovel.
All right.
It's back down on the road where you left it, so it wasn't hard to find.
Oh, they didn't take it?
No. It was not a high-quality piece of treasure.
Fools.
All right.
Shari just says, "I told you."
Eventually, you all make it back home for supper. Miss Mabel is a little bit late, but she does show up. And she cooks a fine meal and seems quite content.
Oh, did you beat up the pirates?
She says, "Oh, don't you worry. That piece of forest is a safe place for you to play." Says, I looked into it thoroughly.
Did we do a good job at finding out the pirates?
You did. You did a very good thing, Lorpin. Sorry, Glup. God, I'm not processing names right tonight. It's a bit late. So let's go ahead and give your closing boasts to the other kids, and we'll close out the session.
Max immediately stands on the highest thing she can find. It goes, "My boasting and bravery won the day. I made tall tales, exposed a fraudster, kicked some people, tripped him up, and also lit some tents on fire today."
A very productive, very Gunther day. Just to move things along, I'll just call on people. Shari?
Shari just says, we found a bunch of pirates, but they weren't really pirates. They were just pretending to be pirates. I hate poser pirates. They didn't even have a ship. I don't think they ever even had a ship. Because, like, you can be a pirate and lose your ship, but I don't even think they had a ship in the first place. They were just, like, doing something or other. There was something about marbles I didn't really understand, but it was very, very, very bad. And then there was objection at the court, and then they tried to kill us, but then they just got turned into shoes, as far as I can tell.
Excellent. Zara?
So we started looking for pirate treasure, and we thought, first, let's try and find a map. So we were looking through all these records, and finally we came across pirate treasure. And then, when we were just about to zero in on the pirates, a couple of our people were captured, and as someone had went off and lit a bunch of tents on fire, I used that as a distraction to save a couple of our people. And yeah, and then Miss Maybell came in and helped clean up the rest. So yeah, it was a pretty fun day.
Excellent. Glup?
Well, we were looking for pirate treasure, so I went to the place where we found the most scummiest people, which turned out to be the merchant of the town. And we found out that he was dealing with land pirates, which then we exposed to the court, though he all got kicked out. And then we went to go to confront the pirates, and I went valiantly after some of us got captured, went to get Miss Maybell, which then got us all back home safe to eat this delicious meal.
Excellent. Kofrik?
So the miller was worried about this man, and he that he was up to no good, and it didn't sound. It sounded like lies and awful things, and that's not what heroes do. And so we went to see what was going on and expose him. And while putting on a show, we got I got the man's devices and proved that he was a liar on my own, and then brought it to the rest of us. And together we took him down.
Excellent. And Whompi.
So we went out in search of pirate treasure, and Whompi got Grammy to give Whompi a coffee. Whompi drank it all, and it gave us the fuel and the energy. And we went out and we exposed a charlatan who had tried to sell the miller a machine, but lull him into some sort of scheme or something. We exposed him in front of everybody and embarrassed him. He tripped, he fell on his face, and everything fell out of his pockets. And then we went with the Miller to go and find where this guy was getting these faulty like marble things, like things we put in the fridge. But we went there, and some went to get Orphan to go like assault their camp. But when they left, we were captured. But no pirate's going to keep Whompi, and Whompi escaped, and Whompi went and got the rescue party. We got everybody out safely.
Alrighty. Well, Whompi, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
Kofrik, I think, because Kofrik was the one who helped expose that shark by actually figuring out what was going on.
Excellent. Kofrik, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
I think Glup for being the one that basically saved all of us. Like, the most.
Alrighty. Glup, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
I'd like to give one to Jackie's character for helping being a good distraction to help us get the information in the first place.
Excellent. Zara, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
I was given a point to Bax for bravely lighting all those tents on fire.
Excellent. Bax, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
I'm giving a point to Trumpy for being relentless in their pursuit for justice.
Whompi, right?
Sorry, Whompi. Yes, Whompi. Apologies, the other triplet. Yeah, Whompi was just like a force of fucking nature this session.
Excellent. And Shari, which of your teammates deserves an experience point and why?
Bax, is that Jack's character?
Yes.
Yeah, for also for lighting the tents on fire. It was brave.
All right. Mari spent her time with the sheriff. Did she learn anything?
No, nothing specific. She just watched the trial.
Mari did get to meet another dwarf. The judge was a dwarf woman that had come down from Celebre to oversee the trial. But other than that, it was kind of uneventful. It's all mostly just procedural stuff. The end result of the trial is that they're going to be taking the prisoner with them back to Celebre for extended interviews and potentially interrogations for military information. Reggie spent their time with the sheriff as well. Anything else go on with Reggie?
I was just watching the trial.
All right. Mari and Reggie both have experience points to give out. Where would they like to give them?
Reggie will give experience points to Glup, Tyson's character, for being sensible and actually going to get the adults. And then Mari will give experience points to... Mari will give experience points to Troy's character for cleverly uncovering things. She thinks that was interesting.
All right. Leica and Trumpy had a day. Leica was at the carpenter, so go ahead and roll your persuasion check on that. And then Trumpy was at the herbalist. Anything of note happen with either?
Does my carving costume help with my persuasion?
Interesting. Harving is known for being quite persuasive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and add pips for that. Channel some Harving there. 3. Whew.
That's quite charming this time.
5 left, and you unlock toy making. All right. Both Leica and Trumpy have experience points to give out. Who would they like to give them to?
Leica will give an experience point to Kristen. What's your character's name? Zara, right? For freeing members of the team during the escape.
That was very brave.
And Trumpy will give their point to Glup for alerting, for getting the rescue party there.
All right. Francis was also at the herbalist, and Henry went to, or Henri, sorry, went to the carpenter. Did anything of note happen with either of them? And also make your persuasion roll for Henri.
What do I pair persuasion with for that roll?
Empathy.
And I guess nothing of note. Things of note could happen. Leveling up or something, or using your points.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think I had anything there.
One more success.
And, so Francis will give a point to Whompi. Francis is very proud of Whompi and all of Whompi's adventures. Without the other triplets, so brave. And then Henri's gonna give a point. Hold on a second, looking up the character. Wheel? Wait, no, sorry, wrong character. Kofrik. For exposing the charlatan.
All right. Elrose spent the day with the sheriff, so attended the trial, and Kyleel was at the end. Did either of them do anything of note? Learn any new skills or anything?
Elros learned 2 in stealth and 1 in melee. So I guess he was doing a bunch of like sneaking, like to like get more like to hear the trial more better.
All right, sounds good. Both of them have experience points to give out. Who do they want to give their experience points to?
Elros wants to give one to Whompi for his very enthusiastic shovel music. And Kyleel wants to give one to what was their name? Shifty's character for basically going out into the field and shouting at all those pirates.
Wait, for what?
For when they they stepped out to scare them wherever the pirates.
I think that was Shari that did that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I shouted at them. Yeah.
Didn't you make an intimidation check
Oh.
against them?
Oh, never. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, Echelon's character. Yeah, my character is mixed up.
Yeah, because Kristen's character is the one that went to the and rescued, did a stealth check and rescued the captives. And it was yeah, Ed's character went out there and intimidated with tales of doom.
Something like the last time someone tried to fuck with us, all that was left was boots.
That's, yeah, that's effectively what she said. Yeah. Okay. Chrysalisar spent time with the sheriff, and Mina spent time with the miller. Did either of them learn anything new?
No, they're just hanging out where they like to be at this point.
And where would they like to distribute their experience points to?
Mina to Shari for being kind of like the background thinker through the things, supplying it sounded like she supplied extra information to stuff, detail. She likes details, even though Shari has extra details in there. And then crystals are to Zara for rescuing people.
Excellent. Araxi was fishing today, and Nest was at the inn. Did either of them learn anything new?
Yes, Araxi now it for the first half of the day at least spent a lot of time working with Lorped and is now significantly more acrobatic. While Nest learned a bit of persuasion and also got essentially goaded into taking part in a little brawl behind the back and won and has +1 unarmed as well.
Nice. Did you distribute the character point you earned at the beginning of the session for your
I did. That went to Araxi, and that was immediately used on acrobatics.
All right. And then where would they like to distribute their experience points to? Amongst their friends.
Araxi will... Araxi will give one to... probably Bax for the whole lighting the camp on fire and taking a getting tackled. And Nest, they will probably they give one to Zara because Zara sort of led them through the early bits of figuring out what was going on, essentially.
Right on. And so there we have it. Everybody recovers 2 tacks from sleeping a good night's rest. And we're done with this session. We'll proceed with a new day next week. You have... Congratulations, you've ended a session where you didn't have some kind of disaster that created an immediate next session response.
Yay. I was kind of worried when the people got captured. I was like, uh-oh, we might have to deal with that next time. Yeah,
if Glup had not successfully gotten Miss Mabel, then that would have been a rescue session for next session. But, and honestly, like, you guys probably could have pulled it out even without that, as you had them in not a great situation, but with Lorpin, Lorpin's no slouch. So if it had actually come to blows, there would have been some good performance coming out of that. But it didn't. You guys successfully rescued and bluffed into a nice, successful ending. So just going down the line to make sure everybody recorded it. Shari, you got 3 experience. Bax got 5. Zara got 4. Glup got 4, Kofrik got 4, and Whompi got 4.
I got 5 total? Dang.
You did.
I miscounted. Thank you.
I keep a record of it on the sheet just to make sure.
Though we might hear stuff about tomorrow about like everyone seeing all the notes and stuff from the merchant.
Yeah, and little sort of preview of what you guys figure out once you're able to put everything together, along with Mari's exceptional record keeping, is that it looks like the merchant was getting his orange marbles from the bandits. And it looks like the bandits were paying the grocer to basically help them smuggle and import those falsified marbles. There's nothing like really different about the marble. They actually work. They're fine. They work just fine.
It's
They're just
just
a different
a
color.
scheme to keep you having to give them money.
Yep.
It's a subscription service.
And the hilarious part is that if it wasn't for the lying, there really isn't anything illegal going on. They're a product. They're just a different color. Yeah.
Orange versus blue. Forevermore.
Yeah, I'm curious exactly how like the sheriff's going to react to all this stuff bring out about his own father.
He is very politically savvy. We'll see.
Usually this ends with a slap on the wrist. That sort of situation.
Yeah.
Something public that says, hey, we're enforcing our law, but doesn't actually do anything.
Or in this case, he might point out that the items themselves were not contraband. There was no
counterfeit items. They worked.
It was the merchant who was lying. The supply chain that was creating the objects was not at fault.
Shopkeep. That was also part of it.
And you heard some rumors about Lorpin. Those of you who were captured at the camp, apparently Lorpin has been making payments to these bandits.
Yeah, but it sounded like extortion.
Yeah, that is what it sounded like. It sounded like he's paying them protection money or something, or paying to keep something secret.
So that might be like an adventure. Find out like the secret of.
It might be an adventure. It might be a simple conversation. You might be able to just ask Lorpin.
Yeah, we share the info, and the people that go on the boat every day can just ask.
I feel like, Araxi and Shari in particular could just ask Lorpin and he'd tell them.
Yep.
Also, it's over potentially now, so that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be making payments to the same people at least.
It seems unlikely.
To talk about it.
It seems unlikely he'll need to make payments anymore. Yeah.
Seeing as those woods are safe to play in. Except for all the shoes that are everywhere.
At least also Miss Mabel also got her stress out.
Yeah, she got to take her stress out of the fact that she's not permitted to execute the cultist. Because that guy's a cultist of the Empty Prince. That pisses her off. It's like they want to take him back and interrogate him for military information. It's like that's not safe. You don't interrogate a barrel of gunpowder with a candle. She's not getting her way on that, but she presumably got her way in the woods with the bandits. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll pick up next week.
This is like the third session out of the last 4 where we've made Miss Mabel go into attack mode.
Yeah, you are stressing her out quite a bit.
Well, that seemed like a stress reliever. Based on it.
Well, the initial
Circumstantially.
stress of having to raise a bunch of children together and then having only one child come back probably weighs in as well.
That's fair.
6 children go into the
levels.
woods. 1 child comes out of the woods. That's a bad ratio.
Glup also managed to acquire probably the most useful thing. The next thing that he tells someone, they're going to believe.
Yeah.
Even if it sounds ridiculous.
Alrighty, let's.
I didn't know. I didn't know El Ross had such a reputation in the town already.
Dude.
After all the shit you pulled with the sheriff, come on.
Everyone in the town knows.
Alright, stopping the recording for real, and